Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic evening of La Salette basketball. I'm Father Daniel Echeverria, joined by my beloved fellow priest, my beloved fellow Society of St. Pius X member, my beloved fellow native of the greatest city in God's creation, St. Louis, Missouri, the Right Reverend Father Dylan Flannery. How are you doing this evening, Father Flannery?
Carissime, very good.
Here we go with the Latin again. We are delighted to bring you the final game of tournament play for the La Salette Lions, coming into their fourth and final contest of this Paris Turkey Classic, the Thanksgiving basketball tournament. Your La Salette Lions stand at 3-0, and they are facing off against the St. Thomas More Sabres out of Champaign, Illinois, also at 3-0. So it's a battle of the unbeatens for the tournament crown, further heightened by a lot of off-the-court action that's been happening leading up to this game. As you may know, the Sabres are coached by former La Salette coach Alex Anderson and former La Salette assistant coach, Coach Vic. So they took their talents to Champaign this year, and they're leading the Sabres onto the floor against their former team.
It's going to be interesting. I know the Lions are really stoked about this, and they really want to play well against the Sabres. We've seen the Sabres play. They really put up a lot of points, and hopefully the Lions can overcome their mistakes, such as fouls, and play a good game.
And just play some basketball.
Let's play some basketball.
Let's cut the chicanery and just play some basketball.
Let's get some buckets.
Oh, that's what we do.
Just got to get buckets.
This game has been and will always be about buckets.
Starting lineups.
The Sabres starting lineups being announced. Number 1 for the Sabres, who is number 2 on the program, Bryson Lee, a 6'3" forward, followed by number 3, Riley Morris, a 6-foot senior guard, excellent basketball player. The Sabres have to be careful against him. Number 5, Nick Twoe, a 6'2" senior guard, and number 11, Dominic Magrini, a 5'6" senior guard. And lastly, the big man, Avery Hughes, a 6'3" sophomore forward. The La Salette Lions competed against him in the Frosh Soft tournament at St. Joe Ogden last year. The Lions starting lineup being announced, firstly, is David Carlisle. I repeat it again, David Carlisle. Number 5, a junior guard, followed by Thomas Bronner, number 11, a junior guard. The captain, number 20, Michael Wernowski, a senior guard. Number 35, the big unit, Thomas Peterson, a senior forward. And lastly, number 50, the big house himself, Eve, the Bomba Comba.
I want to see Peterson get physical.
You want to see everybody get physical.
I do.
You want to see everybody get physical.
I want to see rugby brought to the basketball court.
That's all that you want. We know that about you. Now, there is more controversy in this contest because the Lions' star guard, the sophomore guard, Manny Garcia, is seated on the bench to start off the game. Manny Garcia, number 3, very talented player from the Dominican Republic, will not be playing, at least in early action here in the game, due to him receiving a technical foul last game, again in the Lions' win over Georgetown Ridge Farm. Coach Spezia does not mess around. If you get a technical foul, you sit a certain number of quarters for the man. Manny got a technical, so Manny will sit to start off this game.
Yeah, it was a pretty good jump by number 1, getting that ball from Eve Kumba. You don't see that very often on the tip-off. Eve Kumba losing a ball like that. Oh, Eve, don't do it. Keep her cool, Eve. He's getting in your head. You're playing his game.
Number 23 fouling Eve early and trying to get in his head.
Yeah.
Number 23 is one of the only people I've seen who talks more than I do. So that'll be an interesting battle tonight between Eve and him.
And he's getting physical. I don't like this. Actually, I do like it.
A second foul against number 23. 2 quick fouls on him, and he'll have to take a seat on the bench. So that young man just played himself right out of a ball game, which is fine with us. He'll take a seat, and he will be replaced by number 50, Parker Jackson, a 6'4" junior forward.
And Eve took that very well. He let him grab him and just kept his cool.
Let him grab his shorts.
There we go, Eve. There we go. Good job,
And there's
Eve.
the Bomba Comba
That's
under
how you
the basket.
respond.
4-2.
That's how you respond.
La Salette jumps to an early lead, 2-0. and the La Salette supporters chant their approval. We have some La Salette alums with us tonight. Michael Warnowski stealing the pass and then making an errant pass himself. Tonight will be a contrast of styles, Father Flannery. We have not just on the broadcast, but also on the court as well. We have
Okay.
we have the St. Thomas More Sabres who love to get out and run, love to take it up and down the court, love to jump passing lanes and get steals. La Salette will not be able to run with them, I can tell you that right now. So La Salette will be forced to slow down the pace of the game, play conservative, play smart defensively, and get the ball inside where they can have an effective night against the much smaller Sabres.
3 words for the Lions. Listen to Spezia.
Listen to Spezia.
That's all they got to do.
That early foul goes against Comba. It's his first. And at the line you have the senior guard, Riley Morris, who sinks both free throws. A player I've been very impressed with in the little that I've seen of him this tournament.
Whoa, this is kind of a strange development. Ooh.
Player I've been very impressed with what I've seen with him so far this tournament. Senior guard, keeps his cool, keeps it under control. Skilled basketball player, good head on his shoulders.
Dave Carlisle, nice play. Yves Kumba is out for blood.
There's Yves with another 2. And La Salette jumps up to an early 4-2 lead. The Sabres, trying to push the pace, trying to get out and rebound the basketball. Riley Morris with a pull-up jumper. The senior guard has the first 4 points for the Sabres, as Yves Comba has the first 4 points for your La Salette Lions. Now the Lions bring it up the court, and Michael Warnowski facing the ball under some pressure. A little bit of pressure from the Sabres. Thomas Bronner being now heavily pressured. Drives baseline. Loses the basketball out of bounds. Got a little bit out of control with that early dribble along the baseline there.
Lions look a little bit jittery right now.
A little bit jitter. Little early game jitters. Coach Spays wants to talk it over with them. As promised, ladies and gentlemen, there'll be much more for your viewing and listening delight this evening besides just basketball. We have the pleasure, nay, may I say the honor, of being able to hear Mr. James Go Lightly, class of – did you graduate, James? Of 2010, class of 2010, who is here to help us let's say get issues out there, to help us talk about, previously controversial issues in La Salette history, namely how Dylan Flannery, now Father Dylan Flannery, could have possibly won an award for charity during his time at the academy. But that did happen in 2007, and his name is immortalized upon the plaque of awards at the academy there.
They're still talking about me.
They're still talking about it years later. So we're going to have a chance, to get out there and to talk about the events that transpired. So I'll be handing my headset over to Gogo at halftime, and Gogo will be recounting for you in his own inimitable style what transpired that year. And Father Flannery will have a chance to add his thoughts and his commentary about what happened. Early fouls coming against the Sabres. Every time Yves catches the ball, they don't seem to be able to defend him without fouling.
I don't know what they're thinking, but good. Maybe it's a coaching error.
They are. Let's not go there tonight. However, they do lead in the game 7-4 against your Lions on that 3 by number 1, Bryson Lee. Entry pass to Comba. Comba up and airballs it. No good. And the Sabres rush the other way with the basketball.
Oh, boy.
A little out of control there. Dribbling, kicking it around. There's number 1 again. No good.
Gets his own rebound.
Because our players are fighting over the basketball. And
Travel
now
calls.
Down on the block. Number 50, I believe. Number 50 walked with the basketball. Parker Jackson. Every single time the Lions inbound, the Sabres are going to be pressuring. As we said, it's a contrast of styles today. The Sabres are going to try to be pressuring. They're going to try to be taking the Lions out of the half-court game. They're trying to use their superior speed, quickness, their extremely aggressive playing style. And La Salette's just going to have to try to slow it down and get control of this game. Thomas Peterson snatches an errant shot by Michael Warnowski out of the air.
And then he gets fouled.
And draws the foul. So it will remain Lions basketball underneath the basket, trailing 7-4, halfway through the first quarter of action this evening in this effective championship game of the Turkey Classic. Oh. Ooh, bad pass by Comba. Threw it right into the arms of the Sabres.
Yep.
Here's number 1.
Not afraid to go at Eve.
Not afraid to go at Eve. Yeah, he's a good aggressive kid. Sabres committing foolish foul after foolish foul, however. They're going to be putting the Lions on the line in a hurry this game, which is just fine with us.
Hopefully that's the difference maker.
That could very well be the difference maker. We'll see. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, developments before the game. Emmanuel Garcia, the Lions starting guard, received a technical. Second foul on Eve Comba. Eve cannot get into foul trouble.
You cannot do that.
Can't do that. So Emmanuel Garcia receiving technical foul. Coach Spiezzi has a team rule. If you receive a technical foul in a game, you're sitting 4 quarters. He sat 1 quarter last game against Georgetown Ridge Farm. He has sat, oh goodness, Michael.
You know, it pains me to say it, but that's a good rule.
He is, oh no, it's a fantastic rule, and it's just another great reason why we love having Coach Spiezzi around so much, teaching them a lot more than just basketball. He was sitting this first quarter as well. He won't be able to play till the 4th quarter of tonight's game.
Lions got to stay in it.
And the Lions have to, they have to play. 3-pointer by number 5. We don't know quite what's going on now. Another foul being assigned to St. Thomas More. Don't know what it's for.
No, it was a warning.
A warning, I'm sorry.
I don't know what for.
I think it's a warning to the bench. They were saying something or doing something, and the refs didn't take to it. So now this Lions basketball trailing 10-4. We're doing everything well except scoring.
It'll come. It'll come.
Patience.
Patience. Bronner doesn't know what to do with it.
Tosses it up in the air, and a steal by number 1. Anytime you flip that ball up in the air, he's going to be taking it away if he's anywhere close to it. Now to number 5 again. And another 3 by number 5, Nick Twoey.
See, this is what we haven't seen yet. A team that has really good shooters. Like, all these guys are good shooters.
Yeah, they can all shoot.
And there's some very good athletes, and it's more than just the starting 5.
More than just the starting 5. Apart from fouls, they've been having their way with the Lions. Or is the pass into – oh, Tommy, you got to make that. Dave almost corrals the basketball, but the ball goes back to the Sabres, and they control it in the front court. Comfortably in control, 13-4 in this first – you can't leave him open in this first quarter of play against the Lions. About just under 3 minutes to go. The Sabres up 13-4, and the Lions with the basketball. Oh, there's a nice basket cut by Warnowski. Receives the pass and makes the layup to cut it down to a 7-point lead now.
If the Lions just keep it simple, play their game, baskets will come.
And there's a great play, just a great play by the guard number 3, Riley Morris, driving it to the hoop and finding number 1 cutting to the basket there. Bryson Lee for the 2 to stretch their lead to 9 points, 15-12 over the La Salette Lions. Warnowski, they give him a lane to the basket, and he takes it, cutting the lead down to 7.
I like that, because last time Michael Warnowski was only shooting threes. Now he's actually going to the rim. Maybe you gave him that advice about, take your first couple shots close, make a couple drives, and then start shooting some threes.
I haven't talked to him. I should have. I haven't talked to him. So now we're dribbling it into the front court, controlling the ball, controlling the game. We've got to be careful. This team is going to jump passing lanes, Father Flannery. Anytime they see a guard-to-guard pass about to happen, they're going to jump and get it out there into the lane. There it is, Tacomba for the easy 2. And the Lions are right back in it, trailing 15-10 against your St. Thomas More Sabres. Well, not your, against the St. Thomas More Sabres.
Oh,
Great
nice
steal by Warnowski, taking the ball away from Bryson Lee. That's a man-house play right there.
I like
Great
that.
play by
like
Warnowski,
that.
the senior guard.
He's really upped his game for this.
Yeah, he's getting ready for rugby season. He's going
ready to
to be taking the pitch.
I like
with you guys, trying to learn some of those great rugby values that you instill in the boys.
Yep.
Warnowski for three. Yes, and it's good.
Mike Warnowski, he's here to play.
His family is there cheering in support. Get on with your bad self, Mike Warnowski. Oh, my goodness. 15-13 is your score.
That's a game right there. That's a game.
And now this game is interesting on so many different levels, Father. And one of them is going to be to see how the St. Thomas More Sabres handle a little bit of adversity. They've had blowout wins all of their games of this tournament, and that for good reason, because the second tiebreaker in this tournament is point differential. So obviously if somebody goes undefeated, they win the tournament. If you have two teams, say with one loss apiece, then it goes down to head-to-head, so when they played each other, who won. But say that you have a three-way tie between teams where people are beating each other, then the tiebreaker then would be point differential. So St. Thomas More has run up scores against teams to ensure that they would win that tiebreaker, something that I didn't understand when I was watching their game yesterday. That, well, why is Coach Anderson putting his starters back in the game in the fourth quarter when you're up 30 points? But that's, trying to win that tiebreaker. So the point being, they haven't seen too much adversity throughout this tournament. They've always been more than comfortably in control. So let's see how they do when a team's ready to punch back, like the Lions are tonight. Let's see how they handle it.
Same with the Lions, too. They haven't had too much adversity. Had a little bit with Paris, but it's not going to be on quite the same level as with St. Thomas More.
The only adversity we've had is the adversity we've created for ourselves.
That's correct. Lions upset that double dribble was missed.
Clamoring for a double dribble there.
Yves Kumba.
Yves controls the rebound. Number 23, Avery Hughes, is back in the basketball game after receiving 2 early fouls for his physical play against Yves Kumba. The ball bounces off Mike Warnowski's hands out of bounds, and the ball will be back to the Sabres for what we imagine will be the last possession of the quarter with 11 seconds and counting to play. Number 14, Adonai Bumba.
Let's make a stand here, Lions.
Adonai Bumba.
Peterson with the rebound.
And our beloved term, Thomas Peterson, corrals the rebound as this first quarter comes to an end. We have a basketball game. We have a basketball game, Lions supporters. If you're doing anything tonight besides watching this basketball game, shame on you.
Call your friends.
Shame on you to the fourth generation. You should be watching this basketball game. And you'll forgive me, Father Flannery. I have to say it. I have to get it out there.
Let's hear it. I don't know, actually.
Put your boys in basketball before they come to the academy. Thank you. Put your boy or rugby. I'm good with any sport. Okay, moving on. So at the end of this first quarter, the Lions are trailing by 2 against the Sabres, but very much in the basketball game. We're where we need to be tonight.
Like it. Got to stay within striking distance.
And you'll forgive me again for kind of going off in God's language for a second. Saludos otra vez a los compañeros de la República Dominicana. Os espero que están escuchando este maravilloso partido de entre los Leones de la Salette y los Sabres de St. Thomas More. Lamentablemente, vuestro hijo y nuestro hijo, Manny Emmanuel García, no está jugando. Ha recibido un technical foul el partido pasado. Y la regla del equipo, la regla de Coach Spezia es si un jugador recibe un foul así, no puede jugar por 4 periodos. Entonces Manny no ha jugado el último periodo de ese partido y no va a jugar los primeros 3 de este partido. Es una regla del equipo, una regla para mantener la disciplina y estoy seguro que aunque Manny está, con la cabeza bajada un poco y nosotros queremos que él estaría jugando, es mejor que él aprende para mantener su control, su pasión. Oh, tried to jump the pass and almost got a steal there. Ball bounces off Dave Carlisle out of bounds. And Riley Morris creating that turnover.
You're such a show-off. It's like, I'm just going to go speak in Spanish right now.
Sorry, friend. I could draw you a picture if you prefer.
Please do. Maybe we could put it on the air.
We could put no, probably not. So the Lions now are scrambling back on defense. And that three-pointer is no good because it bounced off the support over the back of the basket. would have put the Sabres up by 5 points. That 3-point attempt by number 23, Avery Hughes, but falls harmlessly away as the Lions trail 15-13 in the second quarter of play.
St. Thomas More is getting way too many open shots.
We're jumping the passing lanes. A stupid pass and a stupid foul leads to Riley Morris going to the line. And Coach Spezia had told me, as well as Coach Fletcher before the game, as Carlisle will have a seat on the pine right next to the coach. Probably not where he wants to be right now, but we'll get a chance to see Nicholas Halligan bust out his skill set during this game, see what he has to offer. Number 24, formerly the number of our beloved Gogo, Mr. James Golightly, who's going to be with us here at halftime. So Gogo hopes that he reps the digits and puts in some good minutes on the floor. 18-13 now, Sabres.
Another thing is that the Sabres are receiving too many open looks on their shots. Not too many of them have gone in yet, but you can't play the whole game like that because eventually they're going to start dropping.
You're in trouble anytime you rely on another team to miss.
Yep.
The Sabres are committing foolish fouls of their own, though. Dawson McGreeny, a 5'9 freshman guard, hand check there. Coach Spezia is very, very concerned about the Lions passing. He's concerned about the mistakes that we've been making, just hanging balls up there, floating balls going towards the top of the key. And we can see why. You know, a good experienced guard like number 3 for the Sabres, Riley Morris, you know, he's going to make you pay if you float a ball up there like that. Michael Warnowski making a bad turnover. Well, every turnover is a bad turnover, but they're dribbling along the baseline, getting forced out of bounds, stepping on the end line.
Not all turnovers are created equal.
Not all turnovers. I like it. Wow. Hey, you're starting to get into it. There's Riley Morris blowing by us on the baseline, looking for a guy to pass the ball to.
Still being aggressive, but
I'd be a lot more content, Father Flannery, if
that was a nice fall by number 1 there. It was a smart play, veteran play.
He's a gamer. Yeah, he's a gamer. That's
it was weak. That's what I hate about this sport.
Number 24. Oh, I'm sorry, Gogo. Number 24, Nicholas Halligan, formerly the number of Mr. James Golightly, class of 2010. He didn't look where he was going there. Number 1, Bryson Lee saw it and very smartly stepped into the lane there.
Nice block by Eve.
Eve did 2 stupid things there. Left his feet first and then swatted down second. That's going to be his 3rd foul, needless foul. Very needless foul by Eve.
He's got to figure that out. He's got to learn.
Yeah, he's got to keep his head on his shoulders.
This has happened too many times.
Very, very frustrating. Thankfully, though.
And you know 23 is going to let him know that he made stupid fouls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, this is when I wish that it was back in the day when I wasn't 40 pounds overweight and I could still get up and down the court, you know. I would just get in the game and just start talking to 23 the entire game.
I said you should go in.
I would just start running my mouth.
That would be great.
I mean, that's what I would do. I'd try to get in his head, try to win that mental battle. Those are just things that we do not do.
You'd be switching languages on him. You'd be speaking English, Spanish, Latin. It doesn't matter.
French. I could throw a little Francais. See how he feels about that. Hey, Dave, it's a 10-second rule. It's a 10-second rule. It's a 10-second rule.
Yell it louder.
Baroness gracious. I'm trying not to yell it.
Dave.
There's Wern. Oh, Eve's not in the basketball game. Dave checked in for him.
Changes the dynamic. There's Peterson. I like it.
I like Peterson.
It. Peterson.
You know, let's just leave Peterson in.
The massive humanity. You have to love it. No fear. No fear.
You know, as one of our esteemed graduates told me who was here for Thanksgiving.
Nice steal. There's Peterson again.
That's a man house. It's a man house there. But not nice quick hands by Halligan to get his hand on the basketball, deflect the basketball. Peterson winding up with the ball right in his lap.
Lions are within 4. They got the ball.
And working it around the lane. You have to be careful here. You have to be extremely careful.
There's Peterson going up with it, protecting the ball and putting it in the basket.
It in and off the court. So Thomas Peterson, a player who did not even make the squad under Coach Anderson, is accounting for a great section of the Lions' points during this first half. There's an open 3 being knocked down by number 23, Avery Hughes, to extend the lead to 5. And here's Warnowski advancing the ball up for the Lions.
Rasmus, I hope you're watching your All-State 8-man playing right now.
I'm sure Coach J. Raz is. Oh, goodness. Could we please stop floating balls up in the air like that?
Yes, we have to realize that that's not a good pass.
I mean, I'm aging quickly broadcasting these games.
Man, number 23.
Reach and foul by number 23. That's his third. That's his third. Very talented, but not a disciplined basketball player.
Nope.
Seeing it again angrily at the end. No, he's not having a seat.
I thought he was out.
Yes, he is out. He's going to take a seat on the pine as number 13, Bobby Kapelnik. I apologize to any St. Thomas More listeners who might be listening if I butcher your son's names. That's not my intention.
Lions missing free throws again.
We have to be careful now. Number 3 and 21. Yep, there's an open look for 3.
Manhouse gets the rebound.
The Manhouse. Thomas Peterson term. And we hope that Mrs. Peterson is.
Oh, Dave with the drive, but unfortunately
got bumped a little.
Like he's
got bumped
injuring.
a little. How about a player timeout for injury?
Yes, that would
how about a referee's timeout?
That would be nice.
David Carlisle. Yeah, there we go. Official timeout for injury.
Ouch.
David Carlisle rolled his ankle going to the basket there. And Coach Spezia, looks down his bench. Oh, goodness. And here we go. Mr. and Mrs. Crott. Mr. and Mrs. Crott, happy anniversary. And here's your belated anniversary present. Your son Henry gets to take the floor to see his first significant varsity minutes for the La Salette Lions.
I want to see some points, Henry. Let's see some points.
I love the way that Henry Crott plays basketball.
I don't like that.
Yeah, nobody likes that. There's a steal by number 3. Stupid pass by Bronner, leaving it out there. The Lions now trailing by 7.
Dave is unfortunately still hopping.
Dave's hopping off the court there.
I don't like the look of that.
Father Six going to go check it out to see what's going on there. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this first half of play. Your Lions competing, battling, playing aggressive and tough. But as Coach Spezia had already pointed out before the game, passing's an issue. Passing is a concern. So many balls just floated up to the top of the key. So many balls just lobbed across the court. So many
you can't do that against
watermelons hung up there. So many cherries ripe for the picking.
And they've been picked.
They have been picked.
Number 3 is
Goodness gracious me.
He's full.
Yeah, James could have stolen that ball.
Probably not, but
I don't know about now.
Yeah,
I don't know about now. He's been infirm. He's been infirm.
That's true.
Infirm. We'll just leave it at that. We won't say what happened.
Wow. Anyway, but I do have to say
we're not going to tell our listeners that James had mono.
What I do like
we're not going to say. I mean, it's an illness.
Oh, Henry, shoot it, Henry. There you go.
Oh, I like it, though. I like it. Let's get on the court. Let's take an open shot. Foolish foul by Warnowski. Missed shot. Rebound.
Yeah.
And Warnowski comes over the back and commits the foul. Anyway, so besides the turnovers, La Salette battling quite well. Sabres have put us into the bonus with all the fouls that they've been committing. So La Salette just needs to get it
regulated. Get it regulated.
Oh, there's the Manhouse, Thomas Peterson, almost coming up with the ball.
One thing I do have to say, though, is that the Lions, they've been down 7, and they come back, bring it within 2 or 4, then the St. Thomas More comes back, extends the lead. It's nice to see that the Lions aren't just lying down and letting them walk all over them.
No. We are by no stretch of the imagination. It's wonderful to see the boys step up.
Exactly.
To see young players play, got out on the court, not be afraid to take a shot. Here's Henry Crott guarding a senior guard there, number 5. Yep. Saw that coming. He's a shooter. Nick Twohy, he can't dribble drive. He can't do other things. Not a great passer, but he'll knock down an open look as St. Thomas More stretches the lead to 10.
Unfortunately, we'll give him those open looks. Tom Peterson. There we go.
Tom Peterson. Mrs. Peterson, that's just good genes. Boy hasn't played basketball before, comes in and starts making an impact. That's just fantastic parenting, so hats off to you. The great drive by number 1, Bryson Lee, along the baseline. Great athletic player, stretches the lead back down to 10.
That's also good genes.
Yeah, that's. Don't get me. I'll start talking about youth basketball again, and then you'll get all upset. All right, so number 11, Thomas Bronner for 3. Oh, and he
there
knocks
we
it
go.
home. Goodness
Kobe.
me. That's that rugby composure coming
There we
onto the
go.
basketball court. That's that rugby composure.
We like it.
29-22, lead down to 7. Thomas Bronner, not a starter at the start of the season for the Spays man, but he's come out and played quite well. Foul's going to go on number 13, Bobby Kapelnik, a 6'3" senior forward, which will send Nicholas Halligan to the line. Nicholas Halligan not seeing a whole lot of time on the court until last year when he played significant JV minutes. Still developing as a basketball player, the junior. Fantastic defender. Really great aggressive mindset, as all the Halligans have. And he's done pretty well so far this season. He's defended well for Coach Spays. He's run the floor. He's been aggressive. He has not made his free throws, though. And that foul will go against Thomas Peterson on the missed free throw.
That's his first.
Which will put the Sabres into the bonus and them at the free throw line.
One thing you gotta like about Peterson, he's leading the team in defensive rebounds right now and offensive rebounds. He's got 2. Everybody else has 0.
Mrs. Peterson, it's just good genes. That's all we have to say. First free throw is up and good by number, who is that?
13,
can't see.
I believe.
By number 13, Bobby Kapelnik. Second free throw is up, and that's good as well. So they're making their free throws to stretch the lead up to 9. 31 to Michael. You make that same mistake again. Oh. After a made basket, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
After a made basket, you have 5 seconds to inbound the ball. The ref will not start counting the 5 seconds until the offensive player picks up the basketball. So if you see a team starting to press you, don't pick up the basketball until your guys are ready and set and ready to go so you can have more time to set it up.
I like that. Oh.
And Michael Warnowski misses the layup. We can't have that.
He started off well, just like last game.
And number 1, Bryson Lee, dribbles the ball out of bounds. So now here we go, setting up again. Now the referee hands the ball to Ranowski, so that's a different situation, not a made basket off a dead ball. In that case, the referee will hand you the ball, and then you have 5 seconds to throw it in.
That's right. I like to. Oh.
Tommy Bronner with a little turnaround.
It's not a good shot.
Flip up in the air. No, not a good shot, which is an air ball. And we'll get the ball, and Sabres will get the ball in the corner. But the shot is no good.
Ripping that out of the air.
By number 25, Dawson McGreeny. Now, just under a minute to play, the Lions need to cut into this lead a little bit. Let's get a little mini run going in before the half.
Let's get some momentum from the Lions. They're going to need it.
And there's a foul by Thomas Peterson.
That's his second.
Is only his second?
Yep.
Okay, only his second. But we'll put Bryson Lee back on the free throw line. This is a great example of just an athlete, number 1, Bryson Lee. If I'm not mistaken, he hadn't played too much basketball before this season. He's a transfer student from another school. But just a gamer, just a very tough, aggressive, very athletic kid, good instincts. And he's been dominant all tournament long. I've watched some of St. Thomas More's games, and he's really played very, very well. Michael Warnowski for 3, no good. Thomas Peterson with the rebound, up and no good. Rebound's controlled by Peterson again. Gets it out of there. Get out of the lane, Tom. Shot is no good by Warnowski. Warnowski missing 2 threes on that trip down the floor. And the final seconds tick off of the half. Number 1, he's going to shoot it. 2 ticks left on the clock there. An air ball. Lions basketball. 2 seconds to go in this first half of play, trailing by 9 points to the St. Thomas More Sabres. What do you hate to say?
I think Warnowski's pushing it. He feels that they're down, and he feels that he's got to make those threes.
He does, yeah. He's starting to feel the pressure. And our first half of play comes to a close. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to introduce you to Mr. James Golightly, who together with Father Dylan Flannery will talk to us about the great Caritas Award controversy of 2007. And I will just take a back seat and enjoy this conversation. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to this conversation as well. It's good to see James again. Good to see that he came all the way from Indianapolis here to Paris, Illinois, to come and have this discussion and to lay to rest any rumors which may have been circling around 2007. James, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Father. How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, I guess, you have the floor. We're all ears. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear you besmirch my good name.
Well,
I do remind you, though, that calumny is a sin.
It is, and I'm very cognizant of that as a, as a man who was in the seminary for 4 years. I think I'm well versed in.
You must have a great pastor.
Oh, he is quite good. I mean, he's young, but he's got some talent. Shows some definite some depth, some real knowledge of the faith. But let's get to the topic at hand. I think the thing that needs to be addressed is, first of all, sort of the surrounding element, which I think would be what we define in the literature world as historical amnesia. And, some people might laugh at this, but what it does is it perpetuates this binary, this false binary of oppressor and oppressed. Father Flannery being the oppressor and the underclassmen, such as myself, being the oppressed. And this is a really unfortunate thing, especially when we look up to the upperclassmen for the example. Now, in the specific case of the Caritas Award, something which is the highest accolade that any La Salette Lion can ever receive, to receive it under dubious circumstances at the very least, that's, dare I say, bringing down the name of the beautiful Lady of La Salette.
That's it? That's all you got to say?
I mean, we can go into details, Father.
Please do. I'm interested about this historical amnesia and, as you say, quote unquote, dubious circumstances at best.
So, you do remember the Joey Dolan incident?
Please explain so we can all refresh our memories. Curious of our amnesia.
Okay. Well, there was at least twice in the rec room where Joseph Dolan wore a white T-shirt with permanent marker on it that said Flannery for Caritas. And I really think that this sort of, going to the polls, as it were, to going to the polls. Yeah, going to the polls. I mean, that's just not okay, especially for an accolade that is this important. I don't think we can be that democratic, shall we say.
So fair enough. You're saying that I was looking for votes. I was looking for the support, the popular opinion, the lowest common denominator.
Don't.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else that you would like to say?
I to be honest, as the oppressed class.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I don't see it. To me, I don't see any specific concrete moments that would have earned such an accolade, such a high and esteemed award, such as the Caritas Award.
Okay, well, fair enough. I see your point, but this is what I would say. First off, I find your historical amnesia somewhat funny, because Joe Dolan did not wear a white shirt that said Dylan for Caritas. He wore a white shirt that said Joey Dolan for Caritas, and Dylan Flannery's name was crossed out on the back. And it was worn by one Dominic Harvey, whom you may remember. And I was the one who ripped it off of him. Secondly, this was done after the award was won, because the first year in 2006 at the first graduation, these awards were just kind of popped on us. They were just announced at graduation and nobody knew about them.
That's true.
So then for the 2007 graduation, we just assumed that it would all be the same thing. However, there was a little bit of a change. Father McMahon actually had his vote. So nobody knew that there was going to be a vote. So there's no way that I could have at all gone campaigning in my own name, as shamelessly as you put it, because we didn't know that there was going to be a vote. So I did not do that. It wasn't until afterwards that when Joey Dolan, who felt, how would you say, slighted by the fact that he did not get the Caritas award, was campaigning for it. So it was not me. That never happened. So your first accusation is wrong.
I wouldn't say
Also-
accusation. I would say inquisition.
Look, but it never happened. It was wrong. Okay,
That's fair. To the point. I mean, like going back to the idea of this historical amnesia. As the oppressed class.
Oh boy.
It's really difficult to remember each specific incident.
Okay, so we've ruled that out. Fair enough. You also say that there are no, how would you put this, instances of me showing any sort of great heroic charity. Well, first off, we have to remember that charity, first and foremost, is directed towards God. And obviously we do the most actions towards God in the chapel. And I sat behind you in the chapel. So, of course, you never saw me perform any great heroic actions toward God because I was behind you.
Touche.
Also, on top of this, we have to remember, so I won this and nobody really cared. And then I came back, and that's when people really started being upset, mainly because of Joe Dolan and saying, Dylan, you should not have won this. They were all coming at me and saying that I was more charitable than you were. I'm going to say, I'm not going to brag about how charitable I am, but at the same time, if you're going up to somebody and saying, I'm more charitable than you are, that kind of shows that you may not be as charitable as you think, especially if you say it with spite in your voice.
That's fair. I think...
I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have more corroborating evidence.
Don't let me interrupt,
this was
Father.
brought... Well, this is the last point. It's an argument from authority, okay? Because this was brought up with the teachers, with the staff. And they said, it was Mr. Tardif and Mr. Ruth. They said, we don't remember any controversy. Mr. Hayes said, yeah, he should have won it. I don't see any problem with that. He said there was no scandal. There was no travesty. And same with Mr. Ruth. He says, I don't think that there was anything wrong with him winning that. So it wasn't until the students, after one Joey Dolan, started campaigning that they were turned against me.
I see. Okay.
So my name was besmirched until now.
Wow. Well, I'm glad we're getting this out in the open.
We got to let out the bile.
Yeah.
We got to let out the bile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, Joey Dolan is to blame, and Dominic Harvey is his accomplice.
Exactly.
Unfortunate accomplice.
I think that's what it is. But you know what? We got to forgive. We have
That's
to be
true.
charitable. We have to forgive.
That's true. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I think that's an apt phrase here.
I like that. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good halftime show. I hope everyone at home enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm glad this is finally getting cleared up after years of what we saw as a priest, a man of God, lobbying for the award for the highest of virtues, the greatest of the theological virtues. I think it's good to finally see this put to bed once and for all.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone else will believe my story, but if they don't, God is my judge.
God is a judge.
That's right. So now we can actually get back to basketball and see what's going to happen.
Well, Father, thank you for clearing everything up, and thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for being on the show. And you know what? It would be nice if maybe we could get some more alumni on here just to come in every now and then and give us their point of view about things in the world.
I think that would be good, especially some of the older classes, 2008, 2009, 2010.
What about 6 and 7?
I mean, 6 and 7 are basically irrelevant at this point. They're old men. They're married.
Wow.
Besides Nathan and possibly Matt Sick, I don't see much involvement from the older generations.
Maybe you should bring it up to them next time you see them.
I think so. I think we gotta light a fire under some of these older classes. We gotta get them back.
Well, Jane, we gotta get going. We gotta get ready to call this game. Father Chevrier is coming back. So thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see some more of you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
So that was James Golightly, graduating class of 2010. He also wore number 24 when he played varsity basketball. Actually played varsity basketball as a sophomore, which is nothing to be shunned, which is pretty impressive. And Father Chevrier is laughing at me right now, and I don't know why. So the Lions are in their huddle just before the start of the second half, trailing by 9. Hopefully Spezia can come up with a game plan to get the Lions into control of this game and to keep the Sabres on their heels. Father Chevrier, how was your halftime?
Oh, it's fantastic. How'd that controversy go? Did we get that all regulated?
There was no controversy. It was very civil language. We like civility here at La Salette Academy. And we put calumnies to rest. We cleared everything up. We got out the bile.
Gotta let out the bile.
That's true. That's our motto. Let out the bile.
A big shout out to Mrs. Hart, who's at the game tonight.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's right over there sitting just about behind the Lions bench. Mrs.
Good.
Hart, a longtime supporter of La Salette Academy, lives just down the road from us there in Olivet.
She's wearing the first La Salette sweater that we ever made.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she is, she's been battling cancer.
Yes.
She's been battling cancer for several years now, fighting a much more important contest than what's taking place in the basketball court tonight. So our prayers and our support are with her.
Certainly.
Ball goes off Halligan's hands out of bounds. There's a lot more to life and a lot of things, excuse me, I can't talk. A lot of things that are much more important than basketball. And stories like that remind you of it. So we support her. Some of the students go by every single week and pray the rosary with Mrs. Hart. She loves the rosary. She's a friend of Our Lady. So please, if you remember to, pray for her as well, for her and her family. That she struggles and she keeps battling. La Salette starting off the game, turning the ball over a couple times. St. Thomas More hasn't been able to capitalize. Number three, Riley Morris.
Not afraid.
I really like that player. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's impressive going up against a 6'10", 5-foot guy.
Fearless.
Like that.
And the other senior guard, Dominic McGreeny, showing his gamesmanship, tying up the inbounds pass.
At the same time, number 3, and he just stays pretty calm and plays his game.
Yeah, he's a very calm guy. He's a very in control kid.
I do like to see that.
The team revolves around him. Now here's Michael Warnowski advancing the ball into the front court. Eve combo with the jumper, no good. Rebound falls to number 1.
That is not Eve's shot.
And number 3 takes it and scores against Comba again.
Eve cannot get a call, though.
Well, he flopped, and the ref. I can't lie, he flopped.
Well, fair enough, fair enough.
And the ref wasn't buying it.
He sold me.
And the ball is out of bounds off of number 1, Bryson Lee. La Salette needs to get some stuff figured out in a hurry here. They're losing 35-22, so the lead is open up to 13 points for St. Thomas More.
They seem a little flat-footed coming out of the half.
Definitely flat-footed, yeah. They've played. There were some good moments.
I do like that.
With a little jump hook towards the middle. Cut the lead down to 11. So, may I ask what was resolved from your discussion about the Caritas Award controversy?
Oh, steal by Bronner. Well, let's just put it like this. I was accused of campaigning, and
for the award.
For the award, and
That's called Caritas.
That's true. And we proved via historical evidence that I did not.
That you did not campaign?
In fact, it was impossible for me to campaign.
You weren't in a position to be campaigning?
No, I wasn't, because we didn't know that there was going to be a vote until the day of the vote.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Nobody knew it.
So you didn't know that?
Nobody knew it.
And you didn't know that?
I did not know it either. I did not know that because in the previous year, there wasn't a vote.
I see. Halligan's talking to himself there, trotting up the court, saying, I need to keep control of myself. I need to keep my head. He just threw the ball the last possession to a Paris player. To a St. Thomas More, to a St. Thomas More player.
Number 3 again.
No good.
This pace is really picked up. It's just back and forth.
Goodness.
What happened there?
I have to say.
What happened?
We just need to show a little more manliness. Yves Comba caught the ball, and he allowed a 5'6" kid to come and tie up the ball on him.
Yeah, that can't be happening. That cannot be happening.
The kick out, nice ball rotation.
They do get open shots.
It's Thomas Bronner bringing the ball up the court. Nice play by Halligan.
Peterson.
And a nice play by Term.
The offensive rebound again.
Cutting the lead down to 9 now. Interesting developments this second half of play.
Yeah.
Don't write the Lions off too early.
Yeah.
Errant pass.
I like that.
Trying to get it over to number 3, Riley Morris. The ball goes off of his mitts and out of bounds, and it will be La Salette basketball.
It's unfortunate the Lions always have problems starting the second half.
Yeah.
But now we seem to settle down, playing our game, not forcing it.
Foul on the floor. That'll be on number 5, Nick Toy. How many is that on Toy? 2 fouls on Toy. Wish it was more. Not for the poor young man's sake, but he's a very good shooter. So
Yes.
I don't know if any of his family or relatives are listening, but speaking from a former high school basketball player, your son can shoot. There's Michael Warnowski catching the ball in the corner, guarded by Toy. And swung around to Halligan. Inside to Comba. Errant pass.
Peterson.
Oh,
too bad.
Peterson tried to jump up and tip it in. Should have caught it, come back down, and then gone back up with it. But does not do that. And so the ball is controlled by the
Bronner
Sabres.
falls.
Swung around here. Nice ball movement by St. Thomas More.
I do like that. Got another foul on Comba.
I believe it is.
That's not good. That's his 4th. He's got to learn to play as a big man.
He does, and that's his 4th foul. And there's the made free throw, extending the lead up to 12. And the Sabres, for once, back off their pressure. 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this third quarter of play. I'd like to give a shout out to all the alumni here this evening, some coming over for Thanksgiving. James Deister. We've already mentioned
He can
John
rebound as well.
He can. He's a complete player. We already mentioned Warnowski, who's here watching the game. James Deister, all-time Salette assist leader. Will Schrader, who's a player on last year's team. Joe Riggy was here, but he's currently in Indianapolis.
Patrick McCara is here.
Patrick
As
McCara
well.
is here, yeah.
Graduated 2017.
2017? Oh, yeah, just before I came. Yep, you're right. Graduated class of 2017.
Father Chevria said I was right. I'm really happy. I don't hear that too often.
I mean, you're generally, oh my goodness. Riley Morris with the 3 from the corner. This game is starting to open up. 41-26, St. Thomas More. 3 minutes to play.
Lions need to settle down and play their game. Don't force passes.
So many turnovers. Turnover after turnover for La Salette.
That's the 6th for Bernowski. It's the 2nd.
And Coach Spezia is going to be asking for a timeout here to talk stuff over.
One thing that's nice is that once Spezia calls a timeout, you do see at the Lions, their play usually improves. Those are beneficial timeouts. They're not just to catch your breath, but they're actually to draw up a play and to get everything reset.
Get everything reset. Well, this is just a whole lot of, how many times, Father Flannery, have we seen the Lions hang a pass out there right in the passing lane where
I can tell you.
Thomas More player can get to it? Have we?
10 times.
10 times. 10 turnovers, and we're down by 15 points. I mean, that's fortunate. We should be down by 20 points. The Lions, they were talked to by Coach Spezia before the game, leading up to the game, talking about how the Sabres jump passing lanes, how you have to be in control, you can't hang balls out there. And we just can't seem to break ourselves of the habit. So, we can't expect to be winning basketball games making those kind of mental errors. But as we said, Father Flannery, this is, and as everybody says, this is a young varsity team. A lot of experience, a lot of growing to do as a team.
Fairly put, but at the same time, there are some fundamental mistakes that you should be able to pick up in practice. There's not an excuse for not knowing them.
Well, turning it over in a game like that is usually because you haven't played too many games, which would be cured if you play basketball in elementary school.
And the traveling?
Huh?
And the traveling?
That too. Not used to playing games. Not much game experience.
Fair enough. Point taken.
Of course, now if they come here 8th grade, then they have the joy of having to listen to me for their 8th grade season.
Father Chevrier is underselling himself. Great 8th grade coach. Great 8th grade coach. Eve Comba puts it on the ground.
And a great save by Thomas Peterson. It would be great if La Salette could get a basket. It's been so long since we've scored. Oh, goodness. High post. There's another turnover, but they're bailed out by the foul being committed by number 50, Parker Jackson. But it's just Halligan hanging the ball up in a bad passing lane again.
With how many fouls St. Thomas More is winning, the Lions should be winning.
Hey, you would think so. There's a lot happening here. And trying to get the ball in bounds. There it goes to Nicholas Halligan. And I believe we have something very interesting here. This is...
it's taken out of context. We can't figure out who sent it.
Goodness.
Eve Kumba with a shot. Finally breaks the drought.
Goodness. Finally scoring. Finally scoring.
We don't even know who this is from.
Charles Deister. That's from Charles Deister. His name's right at the top there.
Well, Deister should have addressed me personally.
Father Charles Deister.
Should have addressed me personally. I'll have a talk with him later.
Eve, please don't leave your feet.
He didn't. He stayed there. And he got the rebound.
And he got the rebound, and he got it over to Wern. Up to Bronner. We advance it into the front court. 28-33. 15-point lead for the Sabres. Comfortably in control here in the third quarter of play. Ball to Comba. Comba from the free throw line. And the shot is no good. Number 3's jutting. Oh, no. And Eve blocks the shot by number 3 out of bounds. No fear there by Comba to jump in the air there and bat the basketball out of bounds, playing with 4 fouls. And a traveling violation committed by number 13, Bobby Kopolnik. Gives the ball back over to the lines. We have some input from an alum who shall remain nameless, that Father Flannery actually lost the student vote the year that he won the Caritas Award. Father Flannery lost the student vote, but had support of the illustrious former headmaster, and so won it on the strength of that. Goodness. Thomas Bronner.
We call that the electoral vote.
I guess so. Thomas Bronner stepping into the lane.
Not pretty, but he got it.
Beautiful scoop and score. What are you talking about? That was gorgeous.
Looked like he was falling over, but he got it.
He Euro stepped around the guy and scooped it up and in. I like that. 13-point lead now for the Sabres, 43-30. The Lions controlling themselves, having to play from behind this entire game.
Nice moves.
Yeah, that's just a great move. Riley Morris, the great take to the basket.
It's hard to defend that.
Hard to defend its senior leader. So I wasn't aware of that, Father Flannery. You actually didn't win the student vote?
That's true. I knew that. I only found that afterwards because of that alumni who told me that. I never said that I won the student vote. I just said I won the award.
Well, we know you won the award.
But I never said that I won the student vote.
Goodness. So the students didn't think that you were the guy for the Caritas Award.
No.
The people you were supposed to be charitable towards.
But I was charitable towards them. Again, Mr. Golette, they gave no instances of me being uncharitable.
Interesting. Well, maybe that's just one of life's mysteries. Maybe that's just something we won't know.
Judgment Day.
Oh, very good. Very good basket cut by Warnowski. Nice pass by Yves Commissar. I was holding my breath there as that last shot was chucked up from half court. And now we go into the fourth and final period of play with St. Thomas More comfortably in control. A 13-point lead for the Sabres against the La Salette Lions. La Salette's met their match so far this game. You can't take anything away from what the Sabres do, from what they do defensively, jumping passing lanes, being aggressive, from what they do on the offensive side of things, being aggressive and taking it to the basket. So all the accolades and all the acknowledgement that we give to them, we certainly do. At the same time, La Salette has not been making it easy on themselves. Those unforced turnovers, lobbing big cherries up there in passing lanes for the Sabres to pick off. A lot of foolish fouls. The big man, Bomba Comba, will be playing this fourth quarter with 4 fouls, and you can bet that the Sabres are going to try to get him fouled out.
Looks like Manny should be coming back in.
But, yes, we have Manny Garcia, who's going to be taking the floor for the first time. And we're happy to see him out there, and let's see how he responds.
He needs to play well. He needs to bring that intense defense, which we've seen in the other games, and we need to see him drive to the basket.
We just need to have him take control of the basketball game. Y ahora vamos a ver, señores, cómo juega nuestro hijo Manny García. Ahora que como que puede jugar, está acabado con su castigo y está tomando
Sí, vámonos, Manny.
el partido. Esperamos que él puede hacer algo para ayudar a su equipo a volver en este partido.
Oh, wow. That's you don't see that very often.
The Bomba Coma getting blocked. Manny streaking down the court, trying to block it by number 3. Unable to do so. Sabres with a 15-point lead.
Manny looks a little bit cold. Sitting on the bench for the first 3 quarters. Does that to you?
Ball poked away by number 11.
Here comes Peterson, and he kept from fouling, which I like to see. I thought he was
Kept from fouling,
straight
but
to
gave up
pads.
the basket. 17-point lead now for the Sabres. 7 minutes to go. This would be one of the greatest comebacks of all time if Salette could manage to take this one back.
Why can't they?
17 points is a lot in 7 minutes of basketball for a high school team.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger? Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it would be a great comeback.
Manny got a foul.
Number 3, Manny Garcia with the foul.
He still has that bad habit of jumping over people's backs.
Yeah, he's still trying to overcome those bad habits.
Oh, he got in number 3's face. Which
Got
is nice
number
to
3's
see.
face, forced him to miss a shot. And now he just burns over. But commits a charge. Number 1 steps up and takes the charge, going to as Manny drives to the basket. His second foul.
In less than 2 minutes.
2 quick ones on Manny. It's the Lions trail 49-32.
Oh.
Thomas Bronner nearly stealing the ball.
I like the aggression by Bronner, though. I don't know what the call was there.
It's a foul on Eve with the body. He was going up for the shot, and they got Eve fouled out. Forcing Halligan to check back into the game. So if the Lions are going to be able to do it, they'll have to do it without their big man in the middle. Eve Comba is fouled out.
That was a foul of frustration.
Big time foul of frustration. They're allowing the Sabres to get to them.
That's his biggest weakness, and that's what they're going to keep doing in games from here on out. Get him frustrated.
Get him frustrated. Now, Salette trails by 20. 6 minutes to go in the contest. We have to see if we can at least win the last few minutes of this game. Manny Garcia
gets fouled.
Being fouled by number 1.
It was a hard foul, but
Bryson Lee.
I was worried that Manny was going to retaliate right there, but he kept his cool. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah. Oh, well. Manny from the line. First one is up and good. His first points. I don't believe we have anybody else in foul trouble, do we?
No, not really. We have a couple people with 2 fouls. Peterson with a rebound.
Peterson corralling the rebound, getting it to Bronner, fakes and takes baseline, puts it up. Manny Garcia, up and in. So now it is a 17-point lead for the Sabres.
Manny's lucky he didn't get a
and
foul
he
called
knocks
there.
down number 23, going hard to the basket.
He's lucky he didn't get another foul called.
Lucky he didn't get another foul called there, yeah,
We'll
for
take
sure.
it. We'll take it. The rugby brought to the basketball court. I like it.
Offensive foul. Warnowski got baited into taking number 23 to the middle of the court. Number 23 was baiting, trying to get him to go to his left. And Henry Crott will come back into the basketball game now, replacing number 11, Thomas Bronner.
He's got 2 shots, but I want to see him make a shot.
Yeah. Time to get Henry up on the board.
Yeah. We want to call his name.
So the 2 things that we were hoping for today, ladies and gentlemen, was that the Lions get some hardware from the weekend, bringing back a first-place finish in this tournament, that is very much in jeopardy right now. The second thing we were hoping for was to clear up this controversy of who actually won the Caritas Award back in 2007.
No.
It
wasn't a question of who won. It was a question of whether or not it was deserving.
Okay, yeah. Who is deserving of the Caritas Award? Excuse me, in 2007, and I just don't think we're quite there yet.
There was actually some further developments that I spoke with Mr. Golightly about, and he actually cleared some things up because apparently he doesn't know how to read a text.
Oh. Okay, so well, yeah, we knew he had some troubles reading.
Well, the text that was actually
Which is
given to
interesting
him,
considering he's an English major, but go ahead.
Well, the text that was sent was actually confirming what I said.
What?
That I did not campaign and that I did not do anything to I did not do anything to how would you say, lessen my worth of the award.
No, but the issue is not about you campaigning. The issue is about you not winning the student vote for the Caritas Award.
No. There was no doubt about that. I never doubted that.
Okay, but I've never heard this brought up before. This is new for me.
Well, I never brought it up because I just don't want to say.
Yeah, I imagine that you wouldn't have brought it up, yes.
Well, no, I'm saying, so what was said was Father Mann, who has 51% of the vote, 51% of the vote said Dylan should get it. So I didn't want to come up and say, yeah, Father
And
Mann
the reason
said,
given
I'm charitable.
The reason given was it's harder for you to be charitable.
Nope, you know what the first reason was?
What is number 23 doing?
You know what? I don't know.
He's
but
dancing
I
a
am
jig there.
charitable. I am charitable.
I don't doubt that, friend. It's not me. That's just all this stuff I've been hearing. You know, there's just like all these questions, and we discuss it, and there's more questions.
Well, we mentioned it on the at the halftime show, and we also mentioned it in that mysterious text that was sent to Mr. Golightly, and it said that Dylan showed up early to chapel every single day, and the first and primary
do show up early for chapel.
The first and primary object of charity is God.
Oh goodness,
I like that play by Peterson.
that's a great play.
I don't like that play.
Yeah. Getting a little greedy, trying to throw it underneath there, trying to get it all the points back on one possession. Ooh, number 23, you know he's shooting it. Rebound by number 35, Term. Nearly throws it away. And we advance the ball. We're up 5-on-4.
I don't know what Warnowski was doing there.
Michael is going to struggle. He's going to struggle against ball pressure. Handling the ball under pressure is not the strong point of his game. So any time that we see like some tough athletic guards like these St. Thomas More kids put hall pressure on the basketball, Michael's going to have some issues. And there's the ball thrown ahead.
Is that another foul on Manny?
It's another foul on Manny.
Well,
no, it's not on Manny. It's on Warnowski.
oh. Well, that's his fourth.
52-35. The St. Thomas More Sabres are ahead with 4 minutes to go in this basketball game. Playing to almost an empty gym here in the Paris tournament. First free throw up and no good by number 23, Avery Hughes, 6'3", sophomore forward.
This is a particularly tough game considering that Anderson coached these boys last year and then he went to St. Thomas More, so I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way it happens. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. But he's got a senior group here at St. Thomas More. He's got a senior group of athletes.
Let's face it, the Lions have to be able to learn to lose and learn to lose well. Peterson, go up with it. I like it.
I'd say more Lions have to learn how to. Oh no, you're right. They have to learn how to lose, how to live with losing.
Right.
That's a great move. That's a fantastic basketball move by number 1, Bryson Lee, 6'3", senior forward.
Yeah,
Goodness me. That's a great take. Knifing through the defense.
Looked like it was head on
now
head
reaching
there.
in and committing the foul.
Looked like Mike got his head knocked there. Hopefully he's all right.
He did get it knocked a little bit. And that's the second foul on Bryson, 5th foul, which will put no, it will not. St. Thomas More is in the bonus, but the Lions are not as of yet. The Lions have had some troubles inbounding the basketball here. Here's Manny Garcia controlling the ball. Number 11 respectfully backs up. Manny is a very quick player. He can take him off the dribble. The ball being swung around Henry Crott into Manny Garcia. Here's Manny.
Travel.
And Manny walked before scoring inside.
You know what? 23 is talking to Manny. It's a good thing Manny's English isn't very good.
Yeah. Here's all kinds of pressure being applied now by the Lions, finally. Kinds of pressure on number 1. There's the number 11.
Another good shooter.
Dominic McGreeny, 5'6", very quick senior guard who sinks the 3.
Wow.
To put St. Thomas More up 21 points, 58-37. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go now in this game.
Yep. Oof. I just don't think the Lions are used to having these players, close space that quickly.
Yeah, they're extremely quick. I had a very nice conversation with Mast, who's the basketball coach at the Lions' rival Arthur Okaw. Very, very good coach, and we've had some wonderful battles with him between La Salette and Arthur over the years. And he told me, St. Thomas More is just a whole other level athletically.
Nice take by
Manny
Manny.
streaking to the hoop. Peterson with the rebound almost. Ball to Crott. Crott dribbles into a player and throws it out of bounds, but thankfully off of the player. So now the ball will go back to the Lions underneath the basket. And into Peterson. Peterson up and in. 58-39.
Peterson's got 12 points.
And Coach Anderson now emptying his bench, giving guys some minutes, losing by, goodness me.
Was on the floor?
On the floor, thankfully. That was number 33, Austin Ford, junior forward with a very nice move to the bucket. He'll go to the line, however. That foul, number 35, Peterson, it's his 3rd foul. Now number 30, Dominic Herring, is checking into the basketball game for number 20, Mike Warnowski.
Peterson has 15 rebounds.
Oh, he's a man house.
Yeah, it's a massive humanity.
Did you play basketball when you were here?
No. I played, I won 2 LBA championships, but that was the extent
Did you
of my
really?
basketball, yeah.
You're a champion.
I win. That's what I do. I eat Wheaties. No, I did not play basketball. I don't have the patience to play basketball.
Yeah. That's the thing about basketball. It's such a pressure cooker sport, especially in games like this late in the game. You have to be able to control yourself. Manny with a nice drive to the basket and a score, a nice sweep through.
Not only am I not patient, I'm also not good. So that's why I didn't play.
But 2 championships. You're a gamer.
Oh, yeah, well, let's put it like this. I was by no means the best player on the team.
Who's the best player on your team?
The first time it was Nathan Sick. The second time was Father McMahon. Nice take, Manny.
Very nice take by Manny. Misses the layup. Ball will go back down to St. Thomas More and down the other way. Here's number 14, taking it along the baseline. Number 14, Adonai Bumba.
Manny's kind of just playing by himself right now.
Yeah, this is what we affectionately call garbage time in the game. Down 19 points with just over a minute to go here.
But hopefully they can give us something to cheer about.
It'd be nice to see a play. Nice to see a guy come out and make a basketball play late in the game.
Yeah.
Well, he's making it. Number 2. 2.
You meant someone from the Lions.
Yeah, I meant someone from the Lions. Cool. Number 2, who I don't know who that is because the names are messed up on the program. 21-point lead for St. Thomas More. La Salette working it around the perimeter.
Well,
people are yelling and screaming.
Go up, Peterson.
Peterson on the roll.
I like it.
And up and in. Term with another 2. Lead back down to 19, and the Sabres might just be content to dribble this one out here.
I don't know.
I know they're looking to score again.
Nice steal by Crop. Put it up there, Crop. Put it up. Come on. And he gets on the board.
And he gets on the board. Henry Crott, kudos to him. First significant varsity minutes, getting a bucket late in the game.
Off a steal.
The crazies kind of getting them off. And that comes to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, your La Salette Lions falling to the St. Thomas More Sabres, 62-45 in their fourth and final game of the Paris Thanksgiving tournament. Lions will finish the tournament in second place, and St. Thomas More will go home with the hardware, winning the tournament championship. Bitter pill to swallow for the Lions, losing to former coach Alex Anderson, former coach Vic, and their Sabres. But no disrespect intended to the St. Thomas More Sabres, who played a great basketball game, played good aggressive defense, took it to the hole, did what they needed to do to win the tournament. So they definitely deserve their championship. It's not like they stole it or we gave it to them. They flat out beat us. So very, very good game for them.
They were certainly the superior team athletically.
Yeah, they were certainly the superior team. And now some awards being given out here.
I believe,
if I'm not mistaken, Thomas Peterson just got an all-tournament team award.
I like it.
Wow.
Rugby.
You know, just more shout-outs to that rugby program.
I like
that rugby program producing athletes. Second place plaque to La Salette. That's nothing to be too happy about. And the first place plaque to St. Thomas More Sabres. La Salette played, well, it was a growing experience for them. Emmanuel Garcia, he scored 10 points? That can't be right. Manny scored 10 points? Wow. Manny scored 10 points in just one quarter of action. Thomas Bronner scored 8.
He didn't make 10 points.
Oh, are those just single digits?
No, that's
Oh, you tell me, how many points did he
Oh,
score?
I was going the other way. Sorry about that.
He scored 4 points.
5 points.
5 points. He scored 5 points. Are all these the other way then?
Yeah.
Okay, so then he scored Mike Warnowski with 9 points. I'm going to go to the other stats. Do you have the other stats for me? That's right. Michael Warnowski, we'll say he had 9. And Thomas Peterson must have led all scores. How many for term?
Tom Peterson had 14 points and 15
points.
rebounds.
14 points and 15 rebounds. And who led St. Thomas More in scoring?
I don't know because I didn't keep track.
Oh, you didn't keep track for them.
I apologize.
Well, that's all right. Riley Morris, we're finally getting it. Riley Morris, number 3. Number 3 with 20 points. Ooh, he put the paint on them. Number 5, Twoe, had 9 points. And number 1, Bryson Lee, had 7 points.
He had 7 points, but they're 7 very good points.
7 very good points. And Riley Morris, number 3, we knew coming into the game that we would find it very hard to guard him, and that proved to be the case. So senior guard leading the St. Thomas More Sabres to victory. Lions will finish the tournament in second place, and we'll move on to the next part of their season. A lot to work on in practice. Young team, growing team. We might see this St. Thomas More team again in the Watsika Holiday Tournament. They'll be competing in that as well. So maybe we'll get a chance to have a little bit of revenge against St. Thomas More. A little bit of good Christian revenge.
Revenge is mine. Somewhere
Father Flannery isn't too big on revenge because he won the Caritas Award.
I guess you could say that. I mean,
regardless, thanks very much for tuning in. I would hope that you've enjoyed us bringing this broadcast to you. We've definitely enjoyed doing it, even though it was slightly painful. However, that's life, and you move on. So, Father Daniel Cheveria and Father Dylan Flannery, thanks so much for listening, and have a good evening.